Oh, right. So, how do you paint hair? This is an underwater painting. So, the hair is doing a bunch of things that I've never painted before. So, basically, let's just dive in and take you along on the journey. Let's go. Hair, hair, hair. Hey, I'm Nick. So basically, here we are. What am I doing? We're going to use this reference here. For this, I was thinking, I would probably get the shape. I have to redo the shape of this. We're going to lose all this area because it's going to go behind her hair, but I think we'll be able to use this reference to kind of help out and finish this painting. So what I have here, I have the hair under three different, every mermaid gets its own hair layer. So this is going to be the last one. I'll just label it hair 4. And with all my digital paintings, I try not to use fancy brushes or anything. I'm just using an inking brush, and it's got a hard edge, and I like that because it makes you think of shapes. You don't have to mess with gradations. If there is going to be a gradation, you use color and shapes to kind of tell it. So okay, I have the basic idea here, but what I'm going to do is redraw. I'm going to use this picker to pick a color, and I think we got the blonde, the red, the dark. This is going to be more brunette. I don't know if I'm really happy with that color. I might try to make it a little more brown here. See what we got. I don't want it to be too similar to that. It's going to be a middle between yellow and red. And we're going to basically just block in. I really like how each one of these, the hair for each one of them is got their space to do their own thing. And I'm looking at this one kind of branching in here. Hair is unique in the fact that, they're sleeping here, but it's kind of behaving and it's moving in the waves as they're sleeping. So in a sense, it's got a life of its own that is independent of their conscious thinking. So I like thinking of that as I'm doing this. I like thinking of the hair as having a life of its own. And personally, I love drawing hair because you can be expressive with it. To me, the line is the most expressive element of drawing. It's what shows the artist's hand. I had a professor who told me I had nervous energy in my line work, and it was a very kind of jarring statement because I was like, how can you tell my emotional state from my figure drawing? And it was the lines. The lines give it away. The lines tell you if you're happy, if you're sad, if you're how you're feeling. And there's no running from it. You can. That's why people love looking at drawings of artists because it just shows their thinking, their thoughts, and it's just so raw. And there's no running from it. So with that idea, I love looking at hair as a way to express a certain um, emotion, a certain unconscious feeling. And I like to see the hair as doing that for the character that I'm drawing. So to me, what I'm doing basically right now is I'm just kind of erasing. I'm masking out what I had there so I can kind of just start over. And certain lines are ghosts. Like these, I'll show you. Usually this happens at the end of the drawing where there will be a line that's not expressing anything physical. Photoshop still, is a mystery to me sometimes. I remember when I was first starting off with Photoshop, it was like such a learning curve to figure out. Sometimes you're trying to do something and then it just doesn't happen, and you're like, it's just trial and error until you figure it out. But anyways, so right now we have that little piece of hair coming over here. So what I'm thinking is maybe we'll have this hair, not that it's avoiding it. See, I'm talking about hair. The more you can talk about it as having a personality, I think if you really believe it does, then it will happen in the drawing, and then without even you trying. If you really believe this hair has a mind of its own, then you might be thinking I'm going crazy here, but this reference literally, there's things happening here that are unreal. Like, it's just, why is that hair doing that? It's just behaving on its own accord. It doesn't care what the other pieces of hair are doing. It's like, no, I'm going to go off in a loop-de-loop there, and there's nothing you can do about it. Her hair seems to be bunching in certain areas, and kind of like dreadlocks, I guess, do that. Now, a lot of these lines, I'm really figuring out the form. But then what I had a professor call ghost lines are these little expressions that are just pure expression. And that's what's so exciting about doing hair, because it kind of allows you, should we have this hair just dip out? Like this one's just pushing that one away. That's kind of cool. I'll just try that and see if that works. It's like interacting. It's like, and then, so we have, this hair is kind of just tucked under. Now, as I'm doing the lines, I'm thinking, okay, the light's coming from here. I'm gonna try to put some light in. Now, because she is a brunette, the lights are not going to be as light as the blonde or even the redhead. So if we check the value, we see it's up here on her highlights, and her highlights are going to be much lower. But her highlights would be, okay, if her highlights are there, then her highlights are going to be a little more bright than that, because her hair is a little lighter. I'm thinking what you call the local color of her hair. The local color is the color of the hair in a neutral lighting situation. Because light in nature bounces around so much that it takes on new colors when it interacts with the actual color of the hair. So any moment you can get a little expression in is really interesting, I think. Like these little ghosts, that's a ghost. Just, there's nothing attached to it. But you can see in the reference, there are these little ghosts of hair that are just, individuals that are branching out there. So basically, oh my lord, I don't know if we got a little too crazy up here. And in the reference, I can't see really what's happening up there. So we're just going to have to wing it, or I could look at another reference. But I'm just going to kind of erase into it and try to feel it out, what's happening here. So I think we have this strand of hair that's coming up here, and we're just going to have it loop around, I guess. The light's going to be hitting here. I'll try to keep it as just clumps of hair. Let's see if that works. Might have it just loop around, maybe. I mean, hair on, this is why this particular painting, I think I've been struggling with this so much, because it's like hair, there's no way to study underwater hair unless you have scuba gear and you are somehow have paper, waterproof paper. And all we have are these photo reference of what hair does underwater, and it's really interesting, but it really just does what it wants. Let's just stand back and look at this thing and see what we got here. Good old delete. So on my left hand, you know, you just keep the Alt button is picking colors, and then Command Z is right there for anything. But and then of course the space I use for that, Z for this to zoom out. And if you're doing like a normal painting, you're always stepping back. You're going in and stepping back, because when someone looks at this, they're looking at it from far away. No one's ever like this close when you're looking at something. So the zoom tool, very important. And hopefully we're on the right track here. Ghosts. Look at that. Look at those ghosts. It's accidents. To me, like, that's what I live for in a painting, is those little unexpected moments that happen that we're just going to call ghosts, because again, we're expressing movement, or really something that's happening unconsciously. I just don't know what this hair is doing here. It's coming up. Should we connect it? Let's And this is part of painting. Sometimes you just try things until it works. And part of the reason why I want to try filming the process is because, you know, maybe I can learn something from this. I mean, Lord, if there is an easier way to get something to look the way you want it to look. Oh, yeah. I like that. All right, let's just see here. This. Let's just figure out some highlights in here. Make this look a little better. So some of that was already there. And something else that I'm always aware of is if I'm picking colors throughout the hair, I look to see if this changes at all, because you don't want to keep all the values on the same color. Just you want to change it up, so maybe it pushes a little more towards the yellow, and then or pushes a little more towards the red, just to give it a little more variation of light, really, what we're talking about, because the light is even hair has variation of color. There's subtle differences in color, even if somebody just naturally. All right, so I'm gonna fill in it a little bit. How are we liking this? We got some ghosts over here. I think I'm gonna. What if this went this way? What if we had her hair? I might end up deleting this, but what if we had this hair interacting a little more? I'm just gonna try putting this below that, have it go underneath, and just see. It's part of the reason why I love digital painting so much, is you can just experiment with no dire consequence. There are, of course, consequences sometimes, but good old Command Z is your friend if it doesn't work out. I kind of like that. I like it that it's interacting over there. All right, we're gonna go with it. Put some highlights in, and some of the more red highlight. Okay, boom. I like that it's going over there. It's like this little strand and this strand are playing footsies or something. All right, so I kind of like that. That's just going up to nothing. That is cool. All right, we're getting close, I think. Let's step back and look at this thing. I think in the reference we have the hair going a lot almost to the shoulder. I'm just going to see what that looks like here. Not that you have to follow reference, but it's giving me an idea that maybe help out this painting. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot better. Oh yeah, that is what the doctor ordered. Just give me some Dr. Pepper. And I want some ghosts there because hair isn't. Maybe some hair goes like down. Maybe some hair. I'm just gonna try something. Oh, geez. What if some hair came off this way? Ghosts, ghosts. Oh! Now we're getting crazy. Okay. Little ghost over there. All right. I like it. Oops. Let's see. I'm just gonna actually, because she doesn't have like neck hair, it's gonna be coming up from the back of her skull. All right. What do you guys think? That's basically how I did it. Now what I'm gonna do is kind of go in. I might fix this up a little bit. I'm not completely happy with what's going on there. I'm going to make some adjustments off camera, I guess. And then I'll show you the final product. At the end, I'm happy that we're able to plow through into the great unknown and come up with something together. So much time I kind of just spend by myself doing this, but it's kind of fun to talk it out with you. Glad you could come on board. I hope you learned a couple things. Maybe you can help me learn something that I'm not doing. And I'll check you later. Hold on, we're gonna have to pause this. Let's save because Photoshop is acting funny.